Three-minute rounds in the featherweight division. Introducing first, the fighter on my right, fighting out of the blue corner. He weighed in at 144.5 pounds, making his MMA debut. Fighting out of the TFTC Academy, Raleigh, North Carolina, Josh Alston. And now his opponent, standing across the cage and fighting out of the red corner. He weighed in at 146 pounds with a record of 1 win and 0 defeats. Fighting out of highest end IMB, Charlotte, North Carolina, Kevin Cito Peraza. Your referee when the action begins, Dr. Kevin James.
All right, Kevin Peraza, Joshua Alston, bout number 2. 145 pounds, and here we go. Glove touch, and we are off. Immediate takedown from Joshua Alston, wasting no time, getting his man to the ground, now in top position.
Well, it's his first fight, so expect a lot of action here. He's going to be very anxious. As you can already see, he closed distance really quickly and put him on his back. Only one fight between the two of them, so this should be a really interesting fight. Usually when it's a couple of debuts or one fight, these guys just have a ton of action. That's when you see a lot of crazy knockouts, a lot of quick fights. We'll see if that's the case.
Joshua Alston really, giving his game plan up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
not even bothering to throw a jab before that takedown came.
No,
and
he's going straight to the ground. And
Kevin Peraza very active, doing what looks to be like the right things, trying to get up against the cage and cage walk his way up from the takedown. But look at Joshua Alston doing a really good job of distributing his weight, staying heavy on top of his opponent, and just not letting Peraza get where he wants to be.
No, I agree. Quickly turned it into half guard so he can have a little bit more control.
And, look at that half guard. That's one of those more advantageous half guards for the guy on top. I mean, he doesn't really have him locked down all the way. And, he's going to do a little bit better job there. But you see a lot of guys like Randy Couture made famous, kind of that half guard posture up and ground and pound thing. Like, you may think that you've got your opponent in a good spot when they're in your half guard, but if they've got room to posture, you don't. Oh. Now, that said, Joshua Alston hasn't postured up yet and really dropped any punches.
No, he's been pretty locked up there, and Kevin Peraza deserves credit for locking up those arms, not allowing for anything to go down here. But no, we haven't seen a whole lot of effort out of Alston yet as far as throwing any sort of ground and pound or really isolating any limb to try to get a finish here. So
Joshua Alston trying desperately to get that left leg out of the lock of Kevin Peraza so that he can attempt to get him out, and maybe then that's his goal, is to start posturing up and throwing bombs from that spot. But right now, desperately trying to improve that half guard position. He doesn't want to be there. He wants to take it either the side mount or the full mount is what it looks like. Kevin Peraza having none of it. And there's an extreme technical battle happening right here and now, Cyrus. The untrained eye, it might not appear so, but there is so much intricacy involved in the leverage and the strength and the power being used right here in this contest between these two guys.
Well, you heard the crowd reaction, of course, when I announced Alston. You can tell he has a lot of family and friends here. Anytime you see a debut, you generally do have a lot of fans in the house here. So that's a lot of pressure as well, not only having to fight somebody inside of a cage, but you have all your family and friends watching closely, and that definitely adds up.
Cyrus, you've been around the game for a while. Tell me, highest in IMB, renowned camp out of Charlotte, TFTC, renowned out of Raleigh. Is there any rivalry between these two camps?
I don't think so. Not that I've ever heard of. Both. Oh, here we go. He's grabbing up on that arm.
It's like he's out. Yep.
And he's out already, so there you go. It'll be Alston finishing on top, though. Nice attempt there by Peraza just to try to make something out of that round. Back to your question, as far as any sort of rivalry, I don't think so. I mean, I think there's a number of teams here in the Carolinas that are formidable that I think have a little bit of a rivalry. Obviously, Pitch Black and Revolution here in South Carolina have a bit of a rivalry, but it's not too nasty at the same
not at all.
point.
That one for certain is a nice one.
It's respectful, but of course, these guys are keeping track of their wins, and they want to be the top dog when you're that close together. I don't know. I don't think so. I think Higheston is just, they've had a great reputation over the years. They've produced some great fighters. One of those, Kevin Ferrant in the corner. He's now the head coach. He's pretty much running things there for Higheston. So, great team. And then TFTC kind of always has that wrestling background, really gritty fighters. Travis Hall, man, there's been a ton of tough guys that we've seen come out of TFTC. And there's a lot of TFTC fighters on this card. So, this should be a fun one. But two formidable teams, that's for sure.
True.
They definitely got good camps.
There's got to be some bragging rights on the line, at least
Always.
somewhere. But Here we go, round number 2, Joshua Alston, Kevin Peraza. Round 1, we saw Joshua Alston fire a takedown off immediately, and there we go. I mean, if you're Kevin Peraza, you had to maybe second-guess throwing a kick to begin
that's never
like
a good
that.
idea against a guy that's just hungry and seeking a takedown as much as Alston is. Maybe should have backed up and been ready with the takedown offense, get his underhooks. But
yeah, throw a little center of gravity down a little bit low. But, sometimes a good kick of the body can get a wrestler thinking twice. Not Joshua Alston. Successful now on his second takedown. Let's see if Kevin Peraza can get back. Unable to do so for the entire first round. And which really makes it tough to, give him that round if he can't get up from the back. But,
yeah, Alston's very heavy on top. He's doing a great job of staying on top and just kind of laying on his opponent. I mean, he's obviously working, but at the same time, he's not really making any serious effort to do anything else with it. You got Dr. Kevin James. This is a guy that's pretty early in his referee career. I would like to see maybe a stand-up when things get stale. But I don't think we're going to see that. I think Kevin's just going to let him work.
A lot of hand fighting. Kevin Peraza is active. He sometimes you see guys from the bottom like that just kind of clinch up and hold on, and they're hoping that they'll get the referee to pick him up. But that's not what Peraza's doing. He's bringing his legs up. He's trying to use his hips. He's doing the right things, but hats off to Joshua Alston, who's just doing a great job of keeping his base where it needs to be, keeping his weight where it needs to be, and really not letting Peraza escape or do anything. But as you said, Cyrus, part of that is him not really doing much.
It was back in March when Peraza got his first victory over Jamal Morgan. It's just his second amateur fight here, so he's just kind of learning on the fly as well. I would like to see a little bit more. You could hear his coaches are right next to us yelling for the underhook, just trying to. Got about a minute left here, so Kevin Peraza is going to have to do something here. He's going to have to show us something because Josh Alston has no intentions on doing anything else.
Yeah,
I think he's just kind of lost at this point. It's his first fight, and he's just happy to be on top.
Yeah. A couple of punches from Alston there. Seem to find their mark.
You better believe that if we can actually isolate that arm right there.
Yeah.
If he really worked at it and really snatched that arm and tried to wrench it back.
Alston knows it. He's just trying to keep his head over to the left and his base solid and not get swept. So far, he's doing a good job.
Holding on for dear life is Josh Alston, and just 10 seconds left. I'm very interested, and thankfully we're right next to the corner of Kevin Peraza. I want to hear what they have to say as far as what the strategy is going to be here in round 3 because he's down 2 rounds. He's really going to have to watch for the takedown. Alston's very explosive. You can see, he doesn't have to have much of an opening to get that takedown. So we'll see right here as Tony Tan and Kevin Ferrand are in the corner. These guys are very experienced fighters. They've been around for a while and great teachers as well. So very interested to see the strategy that Peraza has here in the 3rd round. It's going to be very important.
You got to think if you're Kevin Peraza, you have to do everything you can to keep it on your feet. After 2 immediate takedowns in round 1 and round 2 like that, you've got to think, this fight's got to stay on the feet. I've got to be able to have a stand-up exchange with this opponent because if I get put on my back, I clearly am going to have a lot of trouble getting up. So Kevin Peraza now in round 3 might be in a wholly different spot in that may not be enough to cut it Cyrus Fees. He may have to knock his man out to win this fight.
No, you're right. You're right, Matt. And not only that, or to go for the tap out, he seemed very comfortable to attempt that arm bar. If he gets in a better position, we may see him attack that again. I think that might be a better idea. But we'll see here. We'll see if he separates a little bit. And he goes right after it. He's going to give up that leg, and he's going to go back down. So he needs to scramble now. His best chance was to scramble right out of the gate as soon as he hit the ground. And, why not at this point even give up your back? Why not turn and just try to get out at this point? And there we go.
Well, there it is,
and that's exactly what he's going to do. And he tries to stand up. That was the best thing that he could do at that point. You don't want to just stay underneath somebody that's going to lay and pray. Even if you have to give up your back, if you could shake them off. And Alston's very early in his career, so he may not be able to finish off that choke.
Joshua Alston right where he wants to be in top control. Kevin Peraza's camp yelling him to not be in the closed guard.
Needs to somehow try to back himself up against the cage and get out of this position. Alston doing a great job of cutting him off. This is his chance.
And looks like the mouthpiece just flew out of Kevin Peraza, courtesy of a stiff shot from Joshua Alston.
Nice little shots there by Josh Alston. Josh showing us a little bit more activity on top. Not quite just laying. He's trying to free up that arm but now he's just kind of clasping on and hanging on for dear life. And when you get in a position like this, why not stand the fight up and let these guys hash it out?
Doesn't look like that. Doesn't look like we're going to get that here.
No, it doesn't, and it's very disappointing. And I would imagine that Blake will probably talk to Dr. Kevin James and maybe try to put that in his ear. To be honest with you, because I'm just seeing nothing out here. I mean, normally these fights are stood up.
When clasping, when the close clinch clasping is happening like
That's
it
what
is
I mean.
right now on the ground, and the punches are few and far in between, and when they do land, there's no damage. Then I think that's a decent criteria for.
Yeah, I think so too.
For the stand up.
Otherwise, you're going to have some really still fights throughout the night. Especially with these younger fighters, that's kind of what their go-to is. They just want to get on top.
Yeah.
They feel like they're winning the fight that way, which they are for the most part. But it makes for a very lackadaisical night, that's not underwhelming.
Sure.
Let's just put it that way.
Not fan-friendly to some. 30 seconds left here in round number 3, and we've seen much about the same. Joshua Alston doing a good job. Hats off to him. Getting the takedown, securing it, a lot of good top control. I mean, that's displaying a lot of strength right there.
Getting a win under your belt is a beautiful thing. Obviously great for the confidence, and as long as he continues to learn and polish his trade and be able to do something with this top position, because I think he's going to be able to get top position on a lot of fighters.
And when you're making your debut like this, a lot of it is about getting that experience and building that confidence and slowly working your way up the ladder and developing yourself as a fighter. And looks like Joshua Alston's going to leave today with a win, and at least that's probably what the judges are going to say. But I don't know. You'll tell me in a minute, won't you, Cyrus?
No, that's what I do. So I'm gonna find out for you. But I predict a unanimous decision here, and a learning curve for sure for Kevin Peraza.
All right, here you see the replay. Joshua Alston, there's a couple of the better shots that he had here at the tail end of round 3 in the half guard of Kevin Peraza. One shot did make the mouthpiece go flying, so that one had to have stung a little bit. All right, Cyrus makes the rounds, grabs the cards from the 3 judges, tallies them up. Hopefully his math's right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, 3 hard-fought rounds. How about a round of applause for both competitors going the distance here? All 3 judges scored this fight 30-27 for your winner and his first MMA victory, Josh Alston.